I recognize that last incident affected the community, and as a result, we pour a little bit of elbow grease into those types of investigations, because I think that is important for the community to know that people are identified as being the subjects responsible, and that they're being processed through the criminal justice system appropriately.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then we were going to talk about road crossings, huh?
Right. There's a provincial, it's the Department of Highways, I believe, that has a program that's called the Safe Route to School program. And what it's designed to do is identify routes in which kids take to school that may have a higher risk of pedestrian collisions with motor vehicles. Now, in our community here, specifically the school I'm talking about, of course, J.V. Humphreys, what I thought I would do, and what we could do together in this sort of, I guess, update, Kaslo Cable update, is we might be able to go out there and I could physically show people the two crossings that the students would be using. The first one is right as you come up the crest of the hill on A Avenue, and we can go there here in a few minutes. But the reason I'm doing this is just to identify and remind people in the community again that these are school crossings. They are marked, but oftentimes in the winter the snow covers the crosswalk or the ice. Things are gray and dreary, and you tend not to notice traffic signs as much. And your distance, if you have to make an emergency stop, can be compromised because of the road conditions. Right. So I thought if we can go and just keep people vigilant and remind them of where the major crossings are, how students take their route to school, people can take a little bit of extra care when they're driving in those areas.
Okay, we should go do that.
Okay. Okay, so there are two main, if your kid's coming from the Upper Kaslo and you're going to J.V. Humphreys, there's basically two main crosswalks where kids going to J.V. Humphreys are going to be crossing a highway to get to school. We've taken you to the first location now. This is Highway 31A. So if you just look there, this is the road that comes from New Denver. It comes up here, and this is the four-way stop as you enter Kaslo. So there's a walkway here that comes from C Avenue, and this is utilized by a lot of the kids coming from, like I said, up in the Upper Kaslo area, C Avenue, Zwicky. They're all walking through here, and then they're crossing here. When the Department of Highways came and did a study, they studied two things here. The times when the students crossed this crosswalk, which were primarily in the morning around 8:30, but they also recorded the speed of the vehicles that were coming in from town from New Denver. And by this point, the speed limit is 60 kilometers an hour, I believe, and changes to 50 shortly thereafter. And they were found that most people were going over 50 kilometers, were exceeding the posted speed limit here. So the concern, of course, is that vehicles coming into town from New Denver may not be aware that this is primarily a pedestrian crossing, and most specifically a school crossing in those times. So this is why I wanted to bring you here, is they're going to be crossing here and heading down the woods towards J.V. Humphreys. So if you're coming from this four-way stop and you're heading to New Denver, or vice versa, in the hours of 8:30 in the morning or around school, when school ends, which I believe is 3 o'clock, and maybe even the lunch hour where people might be going home quickly for lunch, you have to be very, very cognizant and vigilant that there's kids crossing here. The rules of the road, if there's someone in the pedestrian laneway, you're required by law to wait until they're completely off the road, not even out of their lane of traffic. People think if I'm crossing and you're waiting for me here, as soon as I cross this line here, that you're free to go. So you're required to wait until I'm completely off the roadway. So this is location number one, and then the second location is on A Avenue, and we'll just head there now.
Okay.
Okay, so what we just wanted to show you was that if you're going the speed limit, we're coming in from New Denver now on this highway, if we start going the speed limit, even at 50, so I've just come up to 50 kilometers an hour right now. You can see that it's posted, but from the time that you turn this corner here, you can see the quick time that you have to react if someone was really crossing there. So this is a higher risk location, and people really have to be vigilant. Like as we cross through there, I'm only doing 30 kilometers an hour, but when we were coming around the corner there, I was doing 50. So you can see that it creeps up on you quite quickly there.
That's right.
So the second location that we're at right now, this is A Avenue, as most Kasloites will be familiar with. And we're just at the corner of Cross Street, so we have the ambulance bay here. This would be the second pedestrian location where you would find most kids crossing. And so where they're coming from is probably the northern side of Upper Kaslo. They're walking down the sidewalk here, and then they're crossing across here to get to the sidewalk that goes to J.V. Humphrey School there. Or they're going down this road. At any rate, this becomes a major crossing. This is a highway, and it's not designated a school zone speed limit. So the speed limits here are 50 kilometers an hour. So if you're coming from Upper Kaslo, you can see that you're going to have quite a bit of room and time to respond if kids are crossing the road. That's not where the greatest risk poses itself here. But if you're looking as you're coming up A Avenue, the distance as we stand here may seem like it's a reasonable amount of distance. But if you're going the speed limit, and just the speed limit of 50 kilometers an hour, and it was even icy conditions, snow conditions would even make it higher risk, but you're going to see that this sidewalk can creep up on you quite fast. And we'll give you an example of that. We'll go down and we'll drive up here. So again, there's only 2 locations where these kids will be crossing on the roads. And if your kid's watching this, there's only 2 locations where you should be crossing these pedestrian roadways. And there, you can see that vehicle that came up the hill there. Now he sees me, so he's slowing down, but you can see that the speed that he came at the crosswalk was quite fast. And his response time to have to come to a dead stop, you know, posed a certain degree of risk. So, 2 messages. Keep both these locations in mind. We're going to show you from the police view of the vehicle how fast this one approaches. But the second message, I guess, is kids. If your kid's going to J.V. Humphrey School, I would expect that you either cross here at the pedestrian walk or there. We often have kids that are coming from up the hill or down to that intersection, the next one right there, that are crossing. Yeah. That is a dangerous move, and that's what the whole Safe Route to School program is trying to avoid here. So please, kids, if you're coming from up the hill or you're on this side of the road, come here, cross, and go over. That's the safest route to school.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
So, Cole, what we're going to do right now, we're just going up A Avenue here, and I am just going to get up to the speed limit here. So right now we're doing the speed limit going up the hill, and I just wanted to demonstrate to the people there how quickly that crosswalk presents itself. Because you're coming up the hill this way, you're not necessarily, you don't have that marking, you don't see the people right away. So we're doing 50 kilometers an hour right now, and as you crest the hill, there's the sign and there's the kids. Now, if it was snowy or whatnot, I mean, I can slow and stop if need be. Heaven forbid you're going even a bit over the speed limit. So very, very good idea to let people know to be conscious of those crossings.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Chris.
Thank you.
Really great. And we shall catch up with you another time.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.